Hello, Internet, and welcome to Inspecting the Unexpected. My name's Melinda.
And I'm Liz.
This is episode 3 of where we discuss unknown phenomena and weird goings-ons. If you want to know how this works, one of us tells the others about something they find interesting, then at the end we will debate and come to the conclusion if it is a sham, mayhap, or substantial. And if you're a weak-minded person, that means fake, maybe real, or definitely real. How you doing, Liz?
I'm doing really well.
Yeah? How's everything at the ranches and stuff?
Doing pretty good. Finished defense today, and it's coming along.
That's good. So we're going to change things up a little bit here. I'm going to do UFO news. So in Alaska, a while ago, on April 7th, 2022, a weird cloud-shaped object flew through the skies, and it was long, like a cylinder shape. I will be putting the picture on our Instagram and YouTube if you're watching it. And it was just a weird shape, like cylinder shape, and had like weird things, like tentacle finger-like shapes coming from the end of it. Like it was looking like it was crashing down.
Mm-hmm.
And over this mountain called, I think I have it up here somewhere. Never mind, I don't have it. It's like a Rocky Mountain something. And there are no reports of anything around the area that looked like it was crashing.
Huh.
They couldn't even find a metal like object or like any scraps or anything. So people think it's a UFO. The like only evidence of it is literally the picture and the people who saw it.
Huh.
Yeah, UFO news. So the main topic of today is about the hum. The hum is a very interesting phenomenon. So all over the world, there is this phenomenon known as the hum, as I just said. It is a consistent low-pitched noise that irritates many people, especially in urban areas. Most people can conclude it is pollution noise, but no one really knows. Like, that's the main thing people think. It's just pollution noise, but then most people don't, like, lots of people don't hear it. Like, someone hears it, but then other people don't. So the sound sounds like a car or truck engine that is on, like, outside your house or down the block, or sometimes it's a low rumbling, droning kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
It is weirdly louder indoors than outdoors, and it usually is louder at night.
Huh.
Yeah. And the hypothesis for that happening is because usually it is masked by background noise, like cars and everything. But at the same time, why would they hear it more inside than outside?
Right.
So from this noise, there have been reports of people experiencing insomnia. What is it?
Insomnia.
That word. Headaches, dizziness, and more. Although the sources for all of this is unknown, so please take this with a grain of salt. Like, they don't know where the source of all of this is coming from. If this is happening, though, it will make people suffer. Like, it's like there's this thing where you have a constant ringing in your ear. I forgot what it's called.
Tinnitus.
Yeah, tinnitus. So like that, but worse.
The
earliest reports of this phenomenon dates back to the early 1970s in the UK. Again, the UK is just weird.
Lots of breeding ground for weird stuff.
Yeah, especially like paranormal weird stuff.
Right.
The person who noticed the hum came from geoscientist Dave Deming. Although this man couldn't find the cause for the hum, even so, he was one of the few formal reports on the phenomenon. Most scientists usually stay away from this phenomenon, so their credibility is not tarnished from the stereotypical conspiracy theorist, which is really sad because they could really help people who suffer from it if they look more into the phenomenon.
Yeah, if they pull their resources and actually looked at it.
Yeah. Now, Dr. Glenn Packferson, a science teacher and former university lecturer, decided to look into Deming's research and decided to learn about the strange phenomenon. He's a pretty cool dude and made a website called the World Hum Map and Database. If we were more known, I would have loved for him to like come on the podcast if we could and interview him about it. But sadly, probably no one wants to be interviewed by us yet. But he has a really cool map that shows places and like where people are experiencing the phenomenon. Let me pull this up to show Liz, I forgot your name for some goddamn reason. So my one critique about it is that it doesn't show the whole world on the map,
Yeah,
but it's a lot of places.
mainly in very densely populated places.
Yes. That's why they say it's a lot of urban, but it's scattered all over the world. Now, the hum is supposedly heard from sufferers wherever they go, and other people in the same place can't hear it.
Huh.
It's an otoacoustic phenomenon generated within the ear that no one really understands, but people are trying to find the cause. There's another group of people who experience this sound from their environment, which has got me to notice this phenomenon, actually. They usually just have exceptionally sensitive hearing and notice things others do not, and it can irritate them immensely. When first researching the phenomenon, they first started with natural resources of sonic phenomena. Example of this is sounds coming from like a volcano. A quote from Elizabeth Silber, a Canadian physicist and planetary scientist, states, "There are many natural sources, such as aurorae, lightning, meteors, volcanoes, waterfalls, ocean waves, yet none of these seem to be consistent with the manifestation of the hum."
Huh.
Yeah.
So they ruled out all of that more deep-rooted natural earth sounds that the planet makes in all of its chaos.
People just, it's not as consistent. So you can't, the volcano isn't as consistent as noises, and then waterfalls freeze during like the winter, and and they're still suffering from the hum. Like it's a whole thing. So there's just this weird phenomenon that is happening to thousands all over the world, and no one knows what really is the cause for it. There is thoughts of it being possibly acoustic origin, although Demings ruled that out. He said the bulk of the evidence suggests that the hum is a non-acoustic sound. This is indicated by the simple fact that most people do not hear it. Like, most people do not hear the sound. It's only from others, because if it's acoustic, so it's just most people can't hear it. But he has this theory that it could be coming from a low frequency that comes from radio signals.
Yeah.
Usually between 3 Hz and 30 kHz, which is used to communicate with submarines, which could be possible. Radio signals can elicit an auditory response that causes discomfort, the microwave effect. This happens when radiant energy interacts with the soft tissue in the skull and stimulates the auditory nerve, causing irritation.
Okay.
Deming investigated his hypothesis by building a black box made of conducting material, designed to shield out such radio frequencies. Although once inside, he heard the hum louder. James Lynn, who is the original researcher of the microwave auditory effect, believes that Deming's theory is a non-starter. He said, unless the sources are pulsed, it is very unlikely that any continuously varying electromagnetic or radio frequency signals could interact with the living tissues and activate the human auditory system. So he believes that it's very unlikely that is radio signals, even if it's at a really low frequency that only some people can hear. So in conclusion, there is no reason why it is happening. With all the different noises and possible causes, the frequency doesn't carry over. When put in the same room, people all suffering with this phenomenon, they aren't hearing the same noise at the same frequency.
Really?
Yeah. It's all like different kinds of frequencies, like different pitches, different, like how loud it is.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
It makes you want to like kind of crawl in their head and hear what they're hearing versus what you're hearing. And you want to see what the difference is, because how do you replicate that?
Yeah. Deming believes that it's an internal thing, that something might be happening within that, like all of them, that's triggering this. He's not sure though. He's still trying to find the source. He's been working on it for a few years now. That comes to the question, what is causing this hum? Well, there are some theories, secret government mind control experiments, underground,
course.
yeah, underground UFO bases, and everything in between. All a little crazy. But there are some theories I read about this hum that might be more real. But to be brutally honest, the two ones I saw, both they're debunked. So first is tinnitus, as you were saying
Right.
first.
My dad has that.
Yeah, my stepdad does too. And it was the first theory that lots of people think of but it's been ruled out because people actually that have tinnitus and the hum say that they are two different sounds.
Oh,
And they're at different frequencies and they sound like two different sounds entirely. So that's been ruled out.
okay.
It's not tinnitus. And then Professor Rod Cross, Sydney University's deputy of physics, thinks it might be coming from Earth's hot interior gases and liquids making its way through the cracks and cavities, causing a pipe-like organ-like effect, which is weird and could maybe true. Like, it sounds factual because science.
Right.
But it doesn't really explain the constant hearing of it
Right.
and hearing most of it inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't explain it. And it's just a really strange phenomenon that no one really knows what's causing it. And I think the weirdest thing is when it comes from nature, a whole group of people can hear it in one location. In a town in New Mexico called the Taos, there is an unusual hum. And I'll play it here. Let me go find it. This is what it sounds like to a lot of people. And it's very famous. Kind of creepy, right?
Yeah.
The thing about it, the frequency, is that it kind of sounds electric.
Yeah, because there's a like a really high whine in it, and that warbling sound is it's almost like when you blow air across the top of a bottle. It's kind of like that. It sounds like wind in a pipe or something,
Yeah.
but with the high pitched whine. Interesting.
It's a really weird sound.
Yeah.
And so the hum first was reported in the early 1990s in Taos. And Professor Joe Mullins at the University of New Mexico did research into the phenomenon and concluded 2% of the population could hear this hum. They were called hearers. Sensitive equipment was set up in several homes of the hearers. They measured sounds and vibrations, but after extensive testing, nothing unusual was detected. Like, nothing. The research did reveal that not every single person in the area could hear the sound. Only a few could hear it, who described it as a whir, hum, or buzz, like the way we were hearing it. It was like, it's a weird in-between of all three. The fact that not everyone heard the same thing was puzzling and suggests that they may have been reporting subjective experiments instead of objective sound. I don't understand. I'm not a science person. But this phenomenon happens in cities, towns, villages, out in the middle of nowhere in nature, and that is causing a question on what is happening. There are sometimes reasons for this, such as factory testing a boiler or plane flying over, and everybody's like, what the frick is that sound? And only a few people can hear it.
Yeah.
But then it's easily, like, explainable. But when it is constant in different areas, it makes people's heads kind of turn, like, what the heck is happening here? So that begs the question again, what the heck is happening here? Now, because we are a phenomenon podcast, like paranormal more, let's talk about the spooky, weird stuff, like, that could be happening. First one, government mind control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You might find it weird. Like, it's like, why would they do that?
Star Wars did it.
Yeah. But guess what? It's not unheard of. The CIA actually did do experiments for mind control.
Really?
Yes. So there have been experiments in the past where the government was trying to conduct mind control. Ever heard of MK Ultra?
I don't think so.
Well, that shit was messed up. We'll have to do a video about MK Ultra, like, even though it's not paranormal. Like, actually, there are some paranormal theories about it, so we'll look into that. But MK Ultra, so messed up. It was a top secret program by the CIA where they were experimenting with mind control in inhuman ways. like inhumane ways. They would torture people, children,
Mm.
adults, and they would put them on LSD, like sexually torture them. And it was just overall disgusting. Like have you ever seen Stranger Things?
No.
Okay, well, people who have, it was based off of MK Ultra, because they were trying to also work, like, learn about psychic stuff, and they did like dimension things, and it was just a whole big experiment that was so inhumane, and it was about mind control. So, that being said, could there be like a mind control thing happening? Like, it's not unheard of for the government to make people suffer just for their own experiments.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think there could be mind control and that's the reason for the hum? Or could there be a wave of energy of some kind of mind controlling of people?
I'm gonna say that the mind control is fairly baseless. Because, what are you getting from people hearing a sound in their everyday life? Like,
Like for me, I literally wrote down no.
yeah.
I personally don't think we have that kind of technology. We might, but I don't think it's out of philosophy to mind control people, especially how, like, with my personal beliefs, it does not go with a lot of how the people want the world to work. I personally don't feel like, how could they do that? Like, how can they mind control people with a hum? So that to me, that is a sham.
Me too.
Total sham. The other one is a UFO base. Do you think that could be it, Liz?
Yeah. Because it does sound both technological and almost geological.
Well, there are reports of seeing UFOs go into the ocean and not coming back up. And reports of them going to, like, into a forest or a lake and stuff and not coming back up. And that would be kind of an explanation of where is that sound coming from, because it could be, like, what if legit, I'm going to sound so like a conspiracy theorist right now. What if UFOs are underneath the ground, like aliens, and, like, that's where they hide out, and they go underneath the ocean?
They're not in space. They're already here.
Oh my god, I am such a conspiracy theorist. But anyway, maybe you can only hear the sound of their equipment if you have really sensitive hearing. Like, what if, like, it is just people with sensitive hearing and they can't really
like maybe it's a genetic thing that over the centuries that people have been around, it's like a recessive thing where it doesn't pop up in a particular family. It just kind of shows up from generation to generation.
Like gingers. You're a mutation. I'm kidding. But I am actually kind of true. But I'm kidding. I think it could definitely be, actually, I sound super conspiracy theorist right now, but I definitely think that could be a possibility.
Aliens?
Yeah, like, because there's so many sightings of people going, like, alien spaceships going in. Yeah, people can't hear when they have had interactions with spaceships. We're going to do a whole podcast on this sometime.
Okay.
But there have been interactions when people have been, like, right next to a UFO kind of thing. They heard nothing. So what if people who have really sensitive hearing can hear it? And it's just at such a high philosophy because they have such great technology that you can only hear it if you have super, super sensitive hearing.
Interesting.
Yeah. And, like, it's only hearing for, like, that kind of crowd.
Yeah.
So I think more mayhap too substantial for that one.
Yeah.
More mayhap. But what do you think?
I say mayhap across the board.
Yeah. Well, there's like a paranormal phenomenon, for example, like ghosts.
Yeah.
Like I've said in both of their former freaking podcasts, realms, paranormal things on top of ours. So So, like, the Alaskan Triangle, like how there are places in the world where it seems like people go through like a vortex or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like people sometimes call it the veil, where they go into a different dimension. So, like, what if it's like that? Like, what if it's your hearing actually that happening?
I'm curious if, that city in Mexico that you were saying, I wonder if that's near another of those triangles. Because I know there's triangles all over the place.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like, there's one in, I think, Michigan.
Yeah. Let's go to Michigan. No. But yeah, that's another one. To me, again, mayhap. A lot of this stuff is mayhap because they honestly have no idea and there's no substantial evidence for anything. So this is really just theories.
Right.
But for, like, maybe paranormal kind of stuff. I'm thinking maybe like more sham to mayhap.
Yeah.
But it's a maybe. Like
Sham for the mind control, mayhap for the
everything else.
yeah.
Yeah, same. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's a natural phenomenon, like UFOs, mind control? Tell us in the comments what you guys think. You can also DM us on Instagram and we'll post what you say. Yeah, and we'll respond. I just think we're not going to be able to understand the world unless we all communicate with each other and discuss possibilities. And if you guys think we're idiots and absolute bonkers, tell us. Like,
It builds character.
yeah, it'll build us a backbone. Like, my husband does it already.
What's that saying? If you have trolls, you're doing something right.
Yeah, but yeah, just tell us what you guys think. So we'll love to hear about it. But we hope you guys have a great day, great week, just a great life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And we want you to always stay substantial.